Welcome back to Advertising Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. Again, we're talking about advertising and marketing experts from around the country. Today, we're in Austin, Texas with Hal Smith of H Street Digital. And Hal, welcome to our conversation today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. We're excited to learn a lot more about you. So why don't we get started with you sharing how you get started in the marketing and advertising industry?
Yeah, so I actually got started in the political advertising space. I did that for a couple of years, and I worked for a committee, then I worked for a couple of different campaigns. Then I worked for a political consulting company that worked across a bunch of different Senate, gubernatorial, and congressional campaigns. And I was largely doing fundraising, direct response advertising for lead gen, and then a lot of persuasion campaigns. I got a little tired of that, as anyone might guess, working in the political space. So I then worked at a startup digital advertising agency where we worked across a bunch of larger corporate clients and really just managed anything that had to do with digital advertising for those clients. And then after a point, I decided that I want to go into this for myself. And so I started H Street about 3 years ago, and with a specific focus on performance advertising, direct response advertising across any really like digital platform. So it could be social, it could be search, but then also like programmatic advertising as well.
Well, your start really was a great way for you to learn because you're really learning about segmentation and messaging and direct response, and now that really translates a lot to what you're doing right now. So, when you are starting with a new client, what kind of conversation are you having with them to help tell their story?
Sure. I think it's a couple of different things. One is the first questions I really want to figure out is what stage of the business they're at. So there can be something in terms of like company size, but then also too how well they understand their different customer cohorts and uh, specific like what specific messages resonate best with those customer cohorts, and then how well they know them and how well they know they can leverage specifically digital advertising to scale up new customer acquisition within those cohorts. And so with that, in terms of the messaging, what we really try to do is sit down and leverage a framework that we use for ad creative to really figure out what specific pain or solution, or sorry, pain that they're solving, and then the solution that the company provides. And so we'll test a lot of different iterations of copy and creative to specifically speak to that pain, and then also speak to the solution that this company provides. And we'll do pretty extensive creative testing around that, and that kind of helps us define that story for a client. We go out there and test it with the customers. We don't necessarily try to dream it up ourselves with the client in isolation. We like to just try a bunch of different concepts, throw them out there and test them with their customers, and then start doubling down on what we know is working.
So, where are you finding the most success? What platforms are you utilizing for your clients that they're really seeing a good response generated from?
Yeah, so this has been consistent for really the last 10 years, but it's largely Facebook/Meta now, and then Google Ads. And so that might be like Google search, but then also YouTube. But for the most part, that's still where a lot of people spend their time. And then two, those platforms obviously have leveraged a significant amount of machine learning. They have massive amounts of data. They really know how their users act, and they build a lot of really strong, powerful algorithms around understanding when someone is most likely to convert, make a purchase. And even with everything that's happened with ATT, they're still the best platforms, and I still use those today. I mean, there are new platforms like TikTok, and then there are a lot of new, kind of smaller opportunities that pop up within programmatic advertising, but most advertising spend is still on Meta and Google Ads.
Well, having that experience of utilizing those platforms really does help your clients and those that you'll be bringing in because it's a minefield. You got to make sure you know exactly how to place those ads, how to really structure the back end of who you're segmenting to, and they all want to see the results, and that's really the end game. So we thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all the great things you're doing at H Street Digital.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. This was great.
And thank you all for joining us as well. having your ads on digital, making sure that you're getting a response that you're looking for. It's so very important to the future of your business, to how you're going to generate your revenues. Having someone like Hal who has that experience, that amazing experience in political advertising, which really is so segmented and so focused with the response you're looking for, really can be an asset to your business. So please check out the information we have about them here on Daily Ad Brief. But go out, have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Advertising Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.